Hey everybody, guess what? We're live this morning. This is a really special thing we get to talk about today. I'm so excited. I have two Franklin residents with me, Aspen and Lauren, and we're here to talk about the Keep Abreast exhibit, which is going to be opening on Friday, next Friday, October 2nd. It's a nonprofit organization that does cast for women, and I think it's such an amazing event. So how are you ladies doing?
Doing well.
Good. Yeah. Ready for this exhibit and for everybody else to understand the importance of the why.
Yes. Well, let's talk about that. Aspen, tell me how you got involved in Keep Abreast exhibit.
So I had a mutual friend of Shani, who is the CEO and founder of Keep Abreast. Sarah said that you must know Shani. You two are very similar to me, where you have a passion and a dream and you want to pass that on to other people. And so me being a nonprofit founder myself, I was very intrigued of this introduction into a new friendship. And I met Shani through Sarah and started learning of all of the beautiful things that she did for a community of women and survivors and men also, because men can also be susceptible of breast cancer. And I just felt so grateful to be within a community of strong, like-minded women who wanted to pass on a greater message of pain, whether it be breast cancer or trauma or difficulties of life, to meet Shani and recognize that for 20 years, she never quit leading this movement for women and educating people to check themselves and early detection, and something that may seem so small because it's not necessarily talked about, but
Right.
to bring it to a larger scale and to a community of people in a cool way, right? Like you think of nonprofit and you think like, but she did it in such a cool way that you couldn't help but want to know more. And so I met Shani and was lucky, and I felt honored to be a part of this community, to be casted and keep speaking the word of Keep Abreast.
Right. So just you got a little bit ahead of me. Shani is the artist who comes and does the cast for all the people who are part of this exhibit. I'm not sure. I haven't heard how long she was here to do those. Do you know how long the process took? Because there's quite a few people in the exhibit.
Years, I think, but she lives in Joshua Tree, California, and so she would come into town. She's done this in several cities around the world as like kind of long-term projects, and she worked with Sarah Bear, who were mutual friends with Aspen, and she would reach out to women in the community and see if they wanted to be cast. And so I think it, like, on and off, she was here. She would come and stay for a while, do a few, and then go home, and then come back, go home. So
Okay, so I was thinking she came and did them all at once. So because I was like, there's a long list of people who's on this.
it's a lot.
That makes more sense because this is only the 20th city. It's our 20th anniversary to do this. It started 20 years ago, and this is the 20th city Nashville is to host the exhibit. Pretty amazing that we get to celebrate 20 years of this. Lauren, tell us about how you got involved in the project.
Well, I didn't really know about it, but last October I was diagnosed. I was 37 and was diagnosed with stage 2 triple negative breast cancer. Was obviously a very scary and surreal experience. And, things moved really quickly, and I got into treatment. I was doing chemo. And then around the end of February, I guess it was the last weekend that they were actually in town doing casts, a good friend of mine, Gina Johnson, texted me the night before and was just like, I'm going to go do this thing. And it is to raise awareness about self-exams and breast cancer. And I would love it if you would join me. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And so I, went and met them at Jen's house, the woman who owns Clary Collection. She provides the space for Shani and Sarah to do these cast, and then it was a group of women that I really love. It was Gina and Fiona Prine and a friend,
Right.
Siobhan Kennedy, and they they had all signed up to be cast, and I came in at the last minute, and it was really about a month before I had finished chemo, and then about 2 months before I had my double mastectomy. So it was a really, really wonderful, powerful room of women.
Mm.
There was just a lot of really excellent energy in there, and I just thought it was a really wonderful way to kind of bookend um, my time with my original ladies.
Yeah. Yeah, tell us about that. That has to be an emotional because as women, that's part of us. That had to be an emotional thing to go through to knowing like that's kind of the I hate to say end of an era, but a change in your life. That's a pretty big change for a female to go through.
It was. I mean, truthfully, the moment that I found out that I had cancer, I was ready to get them off. Like
Mhm.
like my first thing was like, okay, well, let's just get rid of them because if I need to be here, I have 2 children, I'm married, I have a wonderful like family and a wonderful group of friends, and I was like, I just need to be here.
Yeah.
So whatever we have to do to get rid of this is what we will do. So
Right.
honestly, I'm very good at like ticking off boxes like chemo, check, mastectomy, check. The time that I've had the hardest has actually been I had my reconstruction surgery 3 weeks ago, and
Mhm.
I've had more of an issue or like more of an emotional response to like the replacement of them than I
Mhm.
had
Mm,
to the actual removal. So it's a strange process. I think everyone probably goes through it in a different way, and
yeah.
there's just no wrong way to have cancer. Like, it just sucks no matter who you
Right.
are or what you're doing. So, I think people have different emotional responses to it, but I just thought it was a really lovely way to kind of, like, book into that time because I fed 2 children with them, and,
Right.
then all of a sudden, they're just not not supposed to be there anymore. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Wow.
powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. I love
Really
that.
powerful.
Yeah. So, Aspen, you've talked a little bit about the mission of Keep Abreast. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
I think that with Shani, she has found a way to evolve the mission into what the community needs. And even recently, learning more about the app. So you can go on your phone and download the app, Keep Abreast. And what it does, you can set a schedule on your phone for once a month to do a check. So it's a reminder. But she's also evolved it in such a way that once you find out you have breast cancer, that you can go back to that app and it has capabilities of helping you through that process too.
Mm, I love that because I feel like at that time you certainly need a community. We all need a community, but definitely during that. So let's talk about the casting process itself. Let's talk about that. Lauren, what was that like? You kind of talked about the time frame for you, but what was it like to actually be cast? I've seen some pictures. It looks like
Really cool. I mean, it's a really cool experience. It's just like a very, you'd think that because you're like taking off your shirt in front of other people that it would be self-conscious or strange, but it really isn't at all. It's just a very warm and like powerful environment. And it's a really cool experience for sure.
yeah. What about for you, Aspen? What was that like?
I felt like we were all our like leading our own communities while doing this, our own groups of women communities while doing it, like standing there, being vulnerable and bare, yet powerful in this space, leading something that you may have not had the opportunity to. I felt so grateful and honored to be a part of it. So there was like, I don't know, it just felt like a new chapter.
Yeah. So I've seen that they paint them once they're cast. they paint, do you guys have any say in what those look like? Or do you say, this is what I would like, or the colors I like, or how does that work?
You can go first, Lauren.
Go, Lauren.
I guess everyone has, Shani has a binder with artists who will paint the casts. And then so they're the artists that are available to paint the cast. And so once your cast is done, you look through this binder and you pick one of the artists to paint yours. So you get to select who you want to have to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, and so once you've selected that artist, then they're not in the binder anymore. Like they only do yours.
Oh,
So I selected an artist, Jen Props. She's like a female street artist. She lives in San Francisco now, but I think she used to be in New York, and she's a good friend of Shani's. And I think her life had also been touched by breast cancer. She had some family members, I think, who had been diagnosed at some point. So I just felt connected to that part of the story, and that's who I chose. And I didn't really give any specifications other than oh, I like this person, and she should know that to not have these anymore. I wanted her to know that I was in the process of being treated for cancer.
oh, wow. And what about you, Aspen? How did you select yours?
Lauren, I can't wait to see yours.
I know.
That
Cool.
I
I love it.
backstory and the backstory with the artist that you were able to choose. I always say with life, there's absolutely zero coincidences. And I feel like the timing of what you went through when you were going through it, that Keep Abreast was introduced into your life, and then also teaming up with this artist who also wanted to help. It's just, there's so much love.
Yeah, totally agree. I know. I wish you guys had them with you that you could show us, but I guess we have to go see the exhibit.
We'll have to go to the exhibit.
There's so many powerful women too that stepped up to the plate to be a part of it. It's really such a beautiful strength piece of Nashville, and a time in our life where our world just really needs to come together. So there's just so much beauty in that space too.
And you have to also give a huge amount of credit to Sarah and to Shani for creating a space where women are able to talk about these things and be vulnerable.
Feel safe.
But all of that emanates really from Shani. She is just a wonderful human.
Yeah.
So, Aspen, have you seen yours yet? Have you seen your cast?
I bawled the second I saw it. Right before I saw it for the first time in my hands, I was getting ready to go take pictures with it, and I just started crying. And I'm sure, Lauren, you may have had a similar experience.
I did not cry.
Oh,
surprisingly, I think I'm just all cried out for the year. But it was a very powerful experience to hold it. We went to a studio, and Aspen probably did the same thing, to have photos taken with the cast.
Yeah.
And there's a photo of me holding it and looking down at it. And that is when I got that photo back, that's when I cried.
Yeah.
It's just it's just been quite a time.
Yeah.
right. Oh,
So I chose an artist, Kime, who did mine, and I really resonated with her work because I'm in this space of inner child and working through things of that nature. And when I saw Kime's work, it was a piece that I knew that little Aspen found hope within. So there was also a significant reason why I chose the artist that I did. And when I saw the creation that she put, the art piece that she put on the cast, it was so beautiful because she chose so many colors, and she painted multiple women on the cast of here we are coming together as a community, for a strong purpose, a significant conversation. But for me, also the colors meant that there's so much beauty in the pain. If we can look at the pain and find worth from it and speak of our pain in a place of strength and leadership. And so it's cool.
wow. Lauren, what are you going to take some friends to the exhibit when it opens on October
Yeah,
2nd?
I am. I'm hoping to take my family, my best friend who really has like walked through this with me. I'm hoping my mom will come from out of town to see it. So yeah, I definitely am going to be taking a lot.
What is it you hope that people will gather when they see this exhibit? And unfortunately, I wish we could sit here and talk to everybody and get their stories, because this to me makes the exhibit come to life more. But what is it, since they can't do that and you're here with us, what is it you hope that people get from this exhibit?
Honestly, awareness is a huge motivator for me. I Another thing to mention is that I didn't publicly discuss my cancer diagnosis before the day that I was cast. Like,
Oh, wow.
like people that were in my life on a daily basis and knew, like work, like the people that needed to know, they knew, but I didn't. This wasn't like I wasn't battling this publicly. If I'm not like a public person, but you know what I mean. Like I just
Right.
share this. I didn't put it on social media. I like asked my family not to share it. I just kind of wanted to just get through it. And then that day, one of the women in the room said, "Well, like, why would you not share that information? Like, if you could, like, you're strong and you're young and you're winning. So,
Right.
like, if you could spare one person from going through this, why wouldn't you share this information with people?" And so that really kind of shifted my perspective a bit. So now I just try to make sure that everyone that I know like downloads the app. I like love when far flung friends like download it and they'll like send me a screenshot or like tag me in something on Instagram, just saying that they like downloaded it and that they're doing their self checks. Like for me, this whole project is special for many reasons, but I do think that it's special because it raises awareness for people that are under 40 who, you know, they don't recommend you to get a mammogram before you're 40. I had my first and last mammogram last October. So,
Wow.
um, awareness, that's just my main goal.
Right. Right. How do you feel about that, Aspen, for people coming to see the exhibit? What is it the takeaway you would hope they would get?
I'm going to jump on with Lauren too, the awareness piece of it. And speaking of this conversation on a broader level and the ability to have social media at our hands to be able to talk about it on a larger scale and hope that it can surpass just Nashville, just our community.
Right. It's an amazing thing. I appreciate you guys so much telling your stories and being a part of this, which to me, that is very vulnerable. Keep Abreast exhibit opens October 2nd. It is the 20th city to host this event. It's also the 20th anniversary of the exhibit. $500,000 has been raised. It's also a fundraiser, so you can go bid. So we'll put the link up there. I don't know if it's live yet, but I'm going to find out and we'll put the link up there. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye, Aspen. Bye, Lauren. You guys go visit it. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.